One-handed lefties are becoming something of a rarity on the PBA Tour. It almost feels like they are becoming extinct. When you look back throughout the history of the tour, there have been many top-class left-handers who dominated. One memorable period of the tour was the 2000s, where lefties seemed to dominate for years. Players such as Parker Bone III, Patrick Allen, Jason Couch, Mike Scroggins, Rhino Page, Ryan Simonelli were all winning regularly at this time. Go back further and you have many greats of the game who were left-handed. Dave Davis, Mike Albee, Parker Bone III, Johnny Petraglia, and of course Earl Anthony. Now it seems these type of players no longer exist. Basically all the best left-handers in the game right now are two-handed. There is one exception, and that is Jacob Buttroff. He has been one of the few one-handed left-handers to win consistently on tour over the last few years. Now, I came up with this video idea last week, and coincidentally there were two one-handed lefties who have made the first PBA telecast of 2025, which is being broadcasted tonight on Saturday the 25th of January. They are Jacob Buttroff and Graham Farr. If one of them win, they will be the first one-handed left-hander to win since Buttroff did so at the Scorpion Championship in 2023. So let's look at when this trend started, and then we discuss why there are so few one-handed lefties. Now, as I mentioned, Jacob Buttroff won in 2023, but apart from him, you have to go back to 2019 when Ryan Simonelli won. Before that, most notably was Rhino Page, who won 2 titles in 2017, including the US Open. The year before, Graham Farr won the PBA Players Championship, but outside of that, it's been slim pickings. Really, you have to go back to the period of 2000 to 2010 to find any one-handed lefties who were regularly winning titles. In recent years, the only one really has been Buttroff. For the two-handers, it's been a different story. Jesper Svensson has of course won his fair share of titles. You have Kevin Williams, Paki, Matt Russo. So why are the one-handers struggling to make a name for themselves on tour? Well, the first obvious thing to look at is the lack of one-handed left-handers who are exempt on tour, although that has increased after Kim Bolaby and Brandon Runk earned a place on tour during the tour trials. I also think the PBA's new urethane rule has had an impact on some of the lefties, but this trend has been ongoing for the last 10 to 15 years, so we can't exactly use that as an excuse. I think one of the biggest reasons, however, has to be the environment and the way the game has evolved. When you look at the 2000s as an example, the environment just suited the left-handers. It wasn't unheard of for there to be an all left-handed telecast, and of course back then they were all one-handed, as this was pre-two-handed. The game has changed now in so many ways. Two-handed bowling has eclipsed the one-handed game in many respects, but obviously that's not exclusive to the left side, but it definitely has a big impact. Most of the rising stars who bowl on the left are two-handed, and the same goes for the right, but lefties are always going to be in a minority. But if you add in the fact that more and more young bowlers are taking up bowling as two-handed, you have far less opportunities for one-handed lefties to enter the game. So as an example, when a young bowler, a lefty, sees a bowler like Jesper Svensson, for a left-hander, Jesper is their Belmonte, somebody they aspire to be, somebody they want to be like, somebody they want to bowl like. We don't have the Parker Bones, Mike Albees of the world anymore as inspiration. And no disrespect to Buttroff, but let's be honest, has anyone ever watched him bowl and thought, I want to bowl like that? And I believe that if we had a one-handed version of Jesper Svensson who was dominating the PBA, we wouldn't be having this conversation. There are, of course, other factors, including how players break down the lanes. On a difficult pattern, it can be tough for the lefties, especially on asymmetrical patterns. I think lefties have had it good for such a long time, and there were changes made to try and even out the playing field. But it has gone too far the other way. There are some tournaments with patterns that are being used where it really does put left-handers at a big disadvantage. Of course, yes, there are times when they have a big advantage, but it seems to be either left-handers dominate the tournament or they finish nowhere. It seems to be one extreme or the other, and as of yet, tournaments do not seem to have found a way to find that middle ground. But maybe things will change for one-handed lefties, and in the meantime, the left-handed side is far from dead, as we still have the odd left-hander flying the flag, and of course a number of excellent two-handed lefties. So I would love to hear your opinions on this, so make sure to let me know in the comment section below. So if you have enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. That's going to do it from me for today, and as always, thank you bowling fans, and see you all next time.